Most retirement plans don't fail because of bad math. They fail because of one bad year, a year nobody planned for. And here's the uncomfortable truth. By the time you find out your plan couldn't take the hit, you're usually 75, and it's too late to rebuild. So today, we do something most people never dare to do. We try to break Walt's plan. On purpose. 3 stress tests, a market crash, an inflation spike, and a health bill nobody saw coming. The same 3 things that quietly wreck more retirements than anything else. And stay with me, because Walt's plan doesn't pass all 3. One of these tests finds a real crack, and the one-line fix for it might be the most valuable thing in this entire series. Quick recap if you're just joining us. Walt is 63. His retirement budget is $3,500 a month. Social Security covers $1,900, so his savings, about $480,000, only fund a $1,600 monthly gap. He keeps a $40,000 cash cushion, pays himself on the first of every month, and spends his accounts in the right order. On paper, it's solid, but paper plans don't retire. People do. So let's start swinging. Stress test number 1, the market crash. It's year 2 of Walt's retirement. The market drops 35% in 6 months. His $480,000 is suddenly showing something closer to $340,000. For most retirees, this is the moment panic takes over, and panic is expensive. Selling investments in a crash locks in losses forever. It's the single fastest way to turn a paper loss into a permanent one. But watch what Walt does. Nothing. That's the whole move. His paycheck keeps arriving from the cash cushion. Remember, 2 full years of his gap sitting in boring safe savings. He doesn't sell a single investment at the bottom. And when the annual raise comes around, he skips it, holds his paycheck flat, like we covered last time. History says markets have recovered from every single crash. The average bear market has lasted around a year and a half. Walt's cushion covers 2. Test 1, passed. Not because Walt predicted the crash, because he never needed to. Stress test number 2, inflation. Year 5, prices jump. Groceries, insurance, utilities, everything climbs 8%, 2 years in a row. This is the quiet killer, because nothing dramatic happens. No crash, no headline. Your money just buys less every single month, and most people don't adjust until they're already behind. Here's what saves Walt, and it surprises people. More than half his income is Social Security, and Social Security comes with built-in cost of living raises. When inflation jumps, his biggest income source automatically rises with it. His savings only have to stretch the gap, not the whole budget. He tightens a little, trims the travel year, delays the new car, and lets the automatic raises do the heavy lifting. It's not painless, but the plan bends without breaking. Test 2, passed. Now, stress test number 3, health. And this is where it gets honest. Year 7, Walt's 70. A dental implant, hearing aids, and a knee procedure with home care afterward. None of it fully covered. Total surprise cost, $30,000 inside 1 year. And here's what most people get wrong. This isn't rare. Studies suggest that a majority of retirees will face at least one 5-figure health expense, and Medicare covers far less of it than people assume. Watch what happens to Walt's machine. The $30,000 comes out of his cash cushion, because that's the only liquid money he has. But that cushion was his crash protection. Now it's half gone. If a market drop hits in the next year or two, Walt has no buffer left. He'd be forced to sell investments at the bottom. The exact disaster this whole system was built to prevent. One health bill didn't just cost Walt $30,000, it quietly disarmed his defense. Test 3, failed. So here's the crack, and here's the fix. The mistake was making one pot of money do 2 jobs. The cushion can't be both your paycheck source and your emergency fund, because emergencies don't wait for good markets. The one-line fix. Walt sets up a separate health reserve, about $20,000, fenced off, never touched for monthly paychecks. And behind it, a second layer most people never think of, his Roth. Because Roth withdrawals are tax-free, it's the perfect emergency backstop, money he can tap in a crisis without triggering a tax bill or pushing up his Medicare premiums. The paycheck system stays untouched. The crash protection stays loaded. The plan survives all 3 tests. That's the whole lesson of this episode in one line. A retirement plan doesn't survive because it predicted the future. It survives because it never needed to. Separate jobs for separate pots. Flexibility instead of forecasts. Bend, don't break. Walt started this series afraid of one question: do I have enough? 8 lessons later, he knows something more valuable. Enough isn't a number sitting in an account. Enough is a plan that's already met the worst years. On paper. In advance. When fixing the cracks costs nothing. The crash came for Walt's plan, and the plan held. So will yours, if you test it before life does. Next time, the health costs nobody budgets for, what Medicare actually covers, what it doesn't, and the plain English way to prepare for both. If Walt's story is making retirement finally make sense, subscribe so you don't miss it.